All right, so again, y'all, this is the Entrepreneurial Leadership course, and this is at Susquehanna University, a place where I'm a proud alumni of. I was blessed to be able to receive an academic scholarship to attend this university back in 2006. Wow, from 2006 to 2010. There, I was able to become a phenomenal student athlete. I really broke the mold and broke a lot of barriers of the meaning behind African American student athlete at Susquehanna University. Where on the court, I was able to become Rookie of the Year, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. I broke tons of records on the basketball court, and the most important attribute that I was able to add value to at that university was not only being a phenomenal basketball player, but the one I take great pride in is being the first African American male to graduate from the elementary education department at that university, which was a huge, like it was a big deal, like really big deal. But this is our last class of the 7 weeks course. And what I wanted to do with this course, you guys, is that it's called Entrepreneurial Leadership. But as my speakers who are on right now, as they know, as we even had our own talks, is that you can't win if you're not right within. So that we channeled this course to really being focused on professional development, on character development, on leadership development. We did drop, some real good business nuggets on marketing, just like the real basics of beginning a business, but most importantly, the mindset of it. And today I wanted to really just finish this course off with a bang, to the point of providing these phenomenal students with some heavy hitters who I personally know. Like, I personally can call on these speakers who are on right now about anything possible. And that's what I'm telling you guys about in the class, is that building that community of friends, of people, is important on the front end, because as you all grow together, you guys are going to excel together. You guys are going to be elevated together into new levels. And you always have that person there for you as a resource to help you grow, to help them grow, and vice versa. So as we are building on this app that we just all signed up to for Bryan Majors LLC, that's what it's going to be about. So that app, that community is starting with you students. And then by the time it grows to them 3,000s, to them 5,000, 10,000 people are part of this community, like, it's going to be so important that you guys know that y'all are the foundation of that. So we're going to go right into it, though. I have some heavy hitters. I'm going to give everybody a brief intro before they start. Sorry about that. And we're going to fly. So make sure you guys have your pencil there, your pen there, and you taking these jewels from all of them. If you can, on the chat, go to the chat and add your Instagram handle, and everybody will be able to follow you here in a second. We're going to start with, who do I want to start? I don't know. I don't even know where to start, because this is some heat, y'all. Like, I don't know. Like, this is heavy. I think, I think I want to start with with Don Ralls, because he's the youngest, and he's one of my people who I was able to mentee, and he's even become a person who's his own entrepreneur and really deep into his own journey right now. And I really am appalled with just where he's at and where he's going. Don Ross, again, from Harrisburg. He grew up in Philadelphia, came to Harrisburg, was a phenomenal student athlete as well. And he was just able to, like, we clung to each other like so quickly, that he became like a little brother to me. Phenomenal young man, and he's now in Atlanta, the owner of a brand new company that he spoke into existence. We had long conversations just about this idea that he had, and he spoke it into existence, and it's really here right now. So we do have our speakers. We're gonna give just you guys a few minutes. I don't want to take too much of their time because it's super precious, but Don's gonna tap in and just really give you guys a few nuggets here. So Don, if you can go on ahead and floor
Yeah,
you.
I appreciate it. Yeah, like he said, he was really my big brother. Since I was like 15, I want to say, well, no, 16, and I'm production and different things like that. And one of the first things I think that is a nugget that most people don't pay attention to, and you have to realize, is that like, it's the simple things in life that people don't do, right? So some of these nuggets that you're gonna get, you're gonna think that it's simple, but people really don't follow the simple rules. So like the number one thing I think is don't be afraid of failure. And I say don't be afraid of failure because you have to give yourself leeway to fail over and over again. You know what I'm saying? You have to give yourself leeway to, like, you have to, like, I'm gonna explain it as an athlete. You have to put up your shots. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to shoot 500 shots in the gym. You have to think of 100 ideas before you finally get to that one idea that you think that you'll be able to build on and grow upon. So me doing video production and then now having a food truck business down in Atlanta, people would think, how do that go together? But with my food truck business, the things I learned in my video production, I'm now correlating over to my marketing, correlating over to my branding. I know how to shoot a commercial. I know what demographic I want from doing video production, but I fell with that video production company. But that didn't stop me from being an entrepreneur. So I think it's not being afraid of failure as the first one. Second one, I think is like you guys doing right now, is having a mentor. You can't go out to this world blind, because you're going to end up, it's just going to take longer than what it has to be. So finding a mentor specifically in the industry that you want to do. So we are all entrepreneurs, but it's different sectors of entrepreneurship, you guys know. So even what I did with my food truck business is I found a food truck company that was down here that was kind of doing what I was doing. And I went on the food truck and I worked for free. And I did that for a couple of weeks. And, you know, they wanted to pay me, but I think with mentorship and what B. Majors was saying is you have to cultivate these relationships. You know, you can't just come there and think that with a mentor, they're going to give you all this free game. They're going to give you these gems and you don't do anything for them. So when you're finding a mentor, it's a two-way street. See what value you can bring to people, and they're always going to bring that value back. But finding a mentor that's in your industry is extremely important because it just saves you a lot of time. And it saves you a lot of that struggle that you're going to go through. And then thirdly, I think, which is very important, which a lot of people do not do, and it's really like a secret that people don't use, is collaborating with people. A lot of people do not collaborate with people. A lot of people think like, I'm gonna get it on my own, I'm self-made, you know, since they're doing what I'm doing, I shouldn't work with them because we're in competition. And when you do that, you're stunting your growth and you're stunting the reach of people that you can actually reach. You know, I like to look at LeBron. LeBron ain't scared to collab with nobody. He want everybody that's good on his team. He want Anthony Davis, you know, he had Rajon Rondo and different things like that. So even with B. Mays collaborating with other entrepreneurs, it shows that is effective, you know, because it's going to be things or weaknesses that you may have that they don't. And then there's going to be strengths that you may have that they don't. And you guys can teach each other and you guys can reach more people that way. And you can pick each other's brain because y'all both doing the same competition. I mean, the same industry, but y'all might have different perspectives. So I think that's my three nuggets. I think if I was to give a fourth one, I would just say always have a growth mentality. And entrepreneurship is about constantly growing. It's not about being complacent. It's about finding a way, whether it's pushing yourself just to read 10 minutes, whether it's about watching a lecture on YouTube, whether it's about taking a walk and clearing your mind. There's so much more to entrepreneurship that people don't see. It's not even more so about the work. I really think it's about the mentality. When you get to a certain mentality, the work just becomes easy, you know, because it's going to be a lot of adversity. There's going to be a lot of stumbling. There's going to be a lot of hiccups. And I think that's what set different entrepreneurs apart, because a lot of people can't take the stress that come because it is on you. When you wake up, those 8 hours that you think that you will be going to work and that's more structured for you, you got to go and motivate yourself. You got to go and discipline yourself and be hard on yourself. And most people can't do that. So it takes a certain mentality, it's a certain itch to want to grow and be better each and every day. So I would just say be growth minded in anything you do, whether that's health, spirituality, mentality. So yeah. I don't know what's wrong with my audio.
Man, we're gonna have some room for Q&A on the back end, y'all. Man, leave room for failure, find a mentor. Collaboration is key. It's about your mentality and always be growth minded. Ooh, heavy. I wish one student, Caroline, she always does like this. Whenever she hears some noise, so whenever hears some work, she always be on her.
Yeah.
She couldn't make it today. She started her internship today. So Don, I definitely greatly appreciate that insight, man.
For sure.
It was huge.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick around and listen too. Like I said, I'm always willing to. I want to learn from others too, so I'm gonna sit around and listen.
We about to hear some heavy heat here. Right next, I'm gonna go into my girl, person who we both 9 years in. So go people here 9 years in right now, like 5+ years in, who's really like moving and shaking, who went through the pitfalls, who went through the mind challenges and just the daily grind. Next person, and this girl here, she worked so hard. It's crazy because this almost describes every panelist that's left to speak here. But I'm gonna go into Miss Demi Diggs, the queen urban snob. She's super snobbish. She's super fly. And she's a person, let me tell you the quick story before we get her going. Because I have a personal story with everybody here. So her story, which is the most impactful to me, that just happened, is that during COVID, she lost more than 25 pounds in 3 months.
I'm 37.
Oh, my bad. 37 pounds. So she calls me and she's like, B, like, I'm ready to stop playing. Like, I'm ready to put in this work. I want to change. Like, I got to make this transformation. Let's do it. So 3 months in, 37 pounds down. Yep. And I just, again, Don just talked about it's your mentality. But when your mentality changes, everything elevates. As we're going to talk about some elevation here in a second too. But as your mind changes, everything elevates. That's a heavy bar right there. As your mind changes, everything elevates.
Right.
So we're going to have this phenomenal entrepreneur give you guys a few words of wisdom here too, all right? The floor is all yours, Dave.
Good morning, everyone. B, thank you for that introduction. Don, I highly respect you and your wife. I'm excited to see what you guys do with So Icy, and thank you for those tips for me too. So I definitely took some things, especially when you talk about mindset. That part is so important, to make sure that your mind is right, your thoughts are clear, your heart is pure when you are approaching whatever it is that you're doing in business. Like, for me, it's important for me to be authentic in what it is that I'm doing. And fashion for me was just something that was just naturally something that I enjoyed. It was just a part of my aesthetics every single day. So naturally, when I wanted to start a business, I was scared. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I think over the course of time, I definitely was a person that would come up with great ideas, and I would not have any follow through. And I would be like, you know what I'm going to do today? Or I thought about this, and I would never follow through with it. And this was one business idea that I felt was important for me to finally complete something. And I think what allowed it to come to life is that I made sure that I was aligned with what I felt God wanted me to do. So spirituality is very important to me because it keeps my mind sharp. It also helped me with discipline, because you do have to have discipline, like Don spoke of, in order to just in order to be successful, it's going to set you up in the right way. Because for me, I have to work still. I have this business. It is something that it's super, like one of my passion projects that I pour into, but there are moments that I have to pour into it at 5 a.m. There are moments that I don't finish until 2 a.m. and I'm going to get 4 hours of sleep and then I got to go to work. So those are some of the things that, and that's not something that someone can, I don't have somebody tapping me in the morning and saying, Demetra, get up and work on this. But this is something that my passion for it is so strong that I want to get up and work for it. I love to do it because it is super authentic to me. So that helps me a lot. So I would say the first thing is, find what you're authentic at, something that you're naturally passionate at, and then make that your business. So if you are a person that you don't like to talk to people, you don't like to interact, you don't necessarily want to get into a business that, causes you to do that. Maybe you would be more online or something of that nature. So I would say discipline, endurance is another one that has continued to kind of drop into my spirit over and over again, because sometimes people want to skip the process. They want to say, okay, I just want to be successful. Not sure. There is a process that you have to go through, and that may at moments be very challenging and hard, and that's not when you give up, that's when you press through. And so I would say, to make sure that you can handle bad days, that you can handle the days that maybe you don't have any sales, but even on the moments where I didn't even know what I wanted to do, there were times that I had to press pause on my business just so I could figure it out. And I wasn't just moving and doing the same thing over because it just wasn't working. That's insanity. So sometimes I would just take a step back and work on me instead of on my business, and that's what I did over the pandemic. Like I took that time. Oh, I was so grateful for that opportunity to just press stop, because I was just running. And so I think for myself, even going with B-Mage, like he really shifted my mindset, and my discipline just became, so strong. And I think the last thing that I'll leave you guys with is, feed yourself positivity. Your mindset is super important as you're approaching your business, your goals. I made sure that I just fed myself with positivity, even if it was a positive message, if it was, my friends, I made sure that I had the right people around me. And if the energy was off, they had to go. I did not care. It was like, hey girl, I can't take that in today. I'm working on something. Or, I would drop off from my friends and I would say, hey, like, this is, nothing towards y'all, but I got to work on me right now. I love y'all. I'm gonna catch up with you. And I had to be strong enough to like not care, what anybody thought, because that was my process. So I think for me, those would be some of the things. I think align yourself with your purpose, be disciplined, have the endurance to go through those hard moments, and just really stay positive and make sure your mindset is super strong.
Listen, again, how many years are you in, D?
I'm 9 years in, but I also feel like this is another important part that has made me successful. I feel like, I live in the Harrisburg community. So if I have this business and I'm expecting customers, it's also important for me to give back to that community. So from the moment that I opened my doors, I either had a drive. I think the first year we did, I offered 20% off to my clients, for them to bring in toiletries for women at the Y. I called the Y, and instead of me, I wanted to find out what they needed, instead of me just saying, oh, let's do some clothes. Maybe they didn't need that. So I called the Y, made a connection, and said, what do the women need there? And they said, oh, we can never get enough of toiletries. So I had women bringing in toilet paper. They were bringing in toothpaste, like anything that we could. And we filled a basket up. I felt so proud to be able to drop a big basket, it was huge, to the Y, and be able to help give back. So I think as you are, moving in business, expect to get that back. I also serve as the vice president on the board of the neighborhood center. And that has really sharpened my leadership skills and style. So I'm really a big proponent of philanthropy and working with children, and just helping to use my skill set is what I'm doing right now to kind of help strengthen the community. Because sometimes I can't physically do a drive or hand out book bags. I'm not able to to sometimes coordinate those types of events because my time is so limited. But I do give back in those specific ways. So if you have a talent, lend it to an organization that, you'll be able to help be stronger in the future. So I think those would be my tips.
Wow. Listen, y'all, I got the heavy hitters here. So I appreciate you, D, for just again taking that time to drop those nuggets in and share your story. Like it's so inspiring to me, and you know how we talk on a almost daily basis. Just sharing that positivity.
Yeah, I'm grateful for you for there were times where I was just tired, weary, and you definitely is insane. I would be like, how do you have this energy every day? Because my energy doesn't flow like that. So we need you, and I needed you. So thank you for that. I am going to stick around for a little bit. I do have a meeting coming up shortly, but I'm excited to hear what some of the entrepreneurs are saying. I respect everyone on this panel, so I'm looking to forward to hearing from everyone.
All right, we're gonna stay locked in. Next, I want to go into one of the meanest, nicest girls that I know. Mean Girl speaks for itself. But this next speaker, she's just a person who, again, like if we have, I talk about again that resource of people who are in your network, and mine's one of them people that like I'll bug her at 3, 4 in the morning and just text her like random ideas or just random crap and just or vice versa, and it's in the morning you see it and be like, man, here go be up to something else again, or here go my up to something else crazy. But again, it's just that feedback and that push of talking to someone who understands what you're going through, which is again one of the reasons why this course was so powerful for us, because we were just so open with one another and we all understood what we were going through. Again, she's a female entrepreneur here in the Central PA area. She's doing phenomenal things. And real quick, we're going to talk about, and again, I got a real powerful story just with everyone. And this one is one of them things where, again, it's your mindset. Like me and Mai had a phenomenal talk about 2, 3 months ago. It's about like a tough time during this pandemic of just the adversity that we had to grow through. And just being there and being able to have a conversation with someone who understands like what you're feeling, what you're growing through, what you're dealing with, how to stay positive and disciplined and work on that mental endurance. Ever since that conversation, I've seen and watched Mai go to like new levels. And right now she's like thriving in a different light. And I love seeing it because we talked about it 2, 3 months ago. And I tell her all the time, like, keep going. Like, y'all know the vibes, just stay focused, remain humble, and keep working. But it's times it's just, just keep going. And I just like love seeing her, as Jill says, book paid and busy, like locked in, like engaged to a T, man. And this person here, she about to give you guys again just some real good guidance and wisdom. So thank you for your time, and the floor is all yours.
Oh, thank you so much, Brian. I appreciate you. Good morning, everybody. So I just have 5 quick little nuggets that I'm gonna share with you guys. The first one I'm gonna start with, and before I say that, let me just say this. Some of the things that we all share is gonna sound, it may sound repetitive or redundant because we all kind of we're walking that same entrepreneurial journey. So some of the things that we say, it's like I said, it's going to sound repetitive. We're walking our own paths, but we're experiencing a lot of the same situations, especially now with with the pandemic. So what I'm going to start with is doing something you love. That's extremely important. You want to make sure you're doing something you love, because this is going to be such a process. It's such a long, enduring hard process that sometimes you may feel a little defeated, you may feel a little tired, you may feel a little discouraged, but when you're doing something that you love, is you're able to push through a little more. You don't want to give up as easily because this is your passion, this is your purpose. So that's extremely important for me. Fashion is something that I've always loved, like ever since I was a little kid. Quick story, I remember when I was a little kid, my mom would have my grandmother come over and babysit me while she went to work. And she would lay out clothes for me to wear. When she would come home, she would say like, this isn't what I had laid out for her, and my grandma would say, well, she didn't want to wear that. She put out something different. She put out something else. I'm talking about I was like 4 or 5 years old. So that was always like in me. I always knew like, this is what I really love. And so it's just like, fashion for me, it just made sense. And even, with my friends, they would call me like, does this go with this? You think this will look right? I didn't know that was like a skill I could be getting paid to do. It was just something that I love to do. I enjoy clothes. I enjoy dressing myself. I enjoy dressing other people. So it only made sense for me to turn that passion into profit. So that's what that's what I began to do. I don't have a business degree. I just had a strong passion and a belief for what I wanted to do. So now I did have to, do heavy research in it. I had to make sure that I knew what I was doing. Like I said, it was a lot of long hours of research, a lot of, I don't even want to say failed attempts, because I don't like to use the word failure. And I'll get into that because that's another one of my tips. But let me just go back to saying, first and foremost, do something you love, okay? Secondly, I'll say this, it's really important for you to step outside of your comfort zone. Like they say, success is on the other side of fear. You have to be willing to, be a little uncomfortable at times. For me, I remember first starting out and people would come to me like, oh, I have the speaking engagement I want you to speak at, it's a bunch of, youth. I want you to come and share your story. And I would absolutely cringe. Although, it is important to share your story. It's important to share your journey because others can learn from it too. It was not something that I wanted to do. I was terrified. But then I had to say to myself, would I rather in business people not know my name, not know what I'm doing, or would I rather have people so curious and interested in what I'm doing that they want to hear me speak about it? So I had to get over that fear really quickly. So I'm thankful for that. Whenever someone reaches out to me like Bryan did, last night, he, shot me a text, hey, can you come and speak to, to my class about your journey and just give some, some business tips? Without hesitation, I got you. Absolutely. I will do that. So again, that was me stepping outside of my comfort zone to do that. And, I'm still learning with that, but I just try to.
What happened?
I take a lot from that, but that's not my personality. You won't see me, coming on clapping and, I'm just going to be my authentic self. I'm going to share my story and hopefully, people will appreciate it, learn from it and take something from that. So the third nugget I have is I'm going back to that. Don't be afraid to fail. And like I said, I don't like to use the word fail. I like to say that anything is, it's an opportunity to adjust, to grow, to make some tweaks and, some changes. So I try to do a lot of different things to just, stay relevant, stay in people's faces all the time, and still doing the things that I love. But in doing those things, you'll find not everything's going to work. But that's not a failure. That's okay, that didn't work. How can I go back and make these adjustments? How can I, tweak this? So it's not failure. It's an opportunity to adapt, to make some necessary changes and keep moving. You got to keep rolling with the punches. The fourth thing is I know Don touched on this, Demetra touched on this, Bryan did as well. And this is how important this is. It's really important to keep good people around you. You have to have a good circle. I'm not one that has like a million people around me, but the few people that I do have around me, they're good people. So it's always about the quality over the quantity. In this, it's like I said before, you know, you can get discouraged, you know, because it is difficult, it is hard. And you know, like Demetra spoke about, you know, you're not going to have someone tapping you saying, hey, it's time to get up and go make that move today. You're not going to have someone coming knocking on your door and say, hey, do you still sell clothes? No one's going to come check for you. You have to go out and get it. So when you know, in those times, like I said, it can get difficult. You can get tired. I get tired. I still work my 9 to 5 as well. I work my 9 to 5 and then I go to my store. I also do things on the side, you know, I'll mentor kids as well. So it gets tiring, you know, it gets really tiring. And I know specifically during this time with COVID, like Bryan spoke about 2 or 3 months ago, I was ready to quit. I was just like, you know, all the stores and the malls are closing, you know, all the big name companies, you know, retail, they're closing, they're going online. That's it. I'm just going to throw in the towel. I can't take it. I'm just going to quit. And Bryan was like, girl, you tripping. I'm on my way. Like he said, I'm gonna bring some sushi. We're gonna sit, we're gonna talk, we're gonna get you together. And that just meant the world to me. And we sat and we planned, and he really helped get me together, you know, because I really was like, I just can't do it. I panicked, I got discouraged. And so having a good support system is just, I mean, it's very imperative that you do that. Even Demetra, you know, she and we're both in retail, but we'll reach out to each other. Demetra will send me, you know, words of encouragement. She'll send me, you know, spiritual words all the time. And I'm truly grateful and thankful for them and a few others as well for that. It's extremely important. So let me see. I think the last thing I have here is never feel threatened or intimidated by what anyone else is doing. You have to know and you have to believe that nobody's going to do what you do the way that you do it. You know, you have to set yourself apart from everyone else. It doesn't matter if you have a shoe store selling all red shoes and 10 other people are doing that. What's going to set you apart from those other 10 people that are doing that same thing? You have to know and believe that yours is different. You know, what you do is different. No one can do it the way that you do it. So you have to know that and you have to believe that. And that's it. That's all I got. I ran out of gas. That's all I got.
That's the smoke, though. That's the smoke I love hearing, though, man. I appreciate that. And again, like that's what I talk about is that power of your resources and the people around you. And she hit it right on the head. Is the quality over quantity of people around you is the key. Like being able to. That's why I keep talking about us building this community on the app. You guys is again that resource. Network is so key. Again, it was a call of, yo, I'm feeling like this. Nah, stop playing. Here I come. We're gonna talk. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna readjust. We're gonna pivot. We're gonna still adjust. We're gonna just keep working. Like giving up is, you know, that's easy to do. But working through the tough times is when real entrepreneurship kicks in. So you ain't quitting no time soon. You ain't allowed to, or I'm judging you. Yeah, I'm gonna judge you. But we're gonna just keep rolling though. And I appreciate your time for even being able to just give them nuggets like that. I just thank you. And again, my Instagram is also on the chat. I'll keep filling the chat with everybody's nuggets as well. Next, we want to get into my sister Soldier. My sister Soldier here. I'm talking about like a female version of me. I'm talking about her work ethic so crazy, and she a hustle like she'd sell water to a well if she could. I'm telling y'all. She's just a person who, again, it was so long ago at this point now, back when like I really first started giving back and really first started all the companies. And I was teaching in at after school program director for my high school, and it was just a time where I saw something in my sister, and I never knew if she told her story before, but when I asked her to come do it, she did it, and she ain't stopped telling her story since, and stopped impacting lives ever since. And she's at a point now where she's again just continuing to grow and evolve and impact people's lives. She's an consultant, an author, a hustler. We talked about them side hustles a couple weeks ago, y'all. She has plenty side hustles, and she's just a person that's just nonstop at it. Like, so Jill, the floor is yours, sister.
Good morning, everybody. I was just fussing at my kids before I came on. Everybody's home, but good morning, Bryan. Thanks for having me on today. Thank you to the other people on the panel, other business owners on the panel. You all are amazing. You all inspire me daily. I watch everything you do, and it really just keeps me motivated. My story comes a little bit from my motivation, and my story is bred through adversity. So I went through a lot of things early in my life. And that's what kind of like propelled me into becoming an entrepreneur. And like Bryan said, I was a hustler before I was anything else. That's another story for another time. But I've always knew I come from nothing. So my hunger and my drive was a little bit different from, people around me and what they're doing. So as Bryan mentioned, I am a author. I wrote a book during the pandemic. I had the book on hold for about 3 years. It took me to write it. And then during the pandemic, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna wrap this thing up and sell it, because guess what? I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if I'm gonna have a job. They sending us home like it's nothing. I have 3 children, with one child which is in college. And I'm like, listen, I gotta make this thing shake, right? So I put the book out, and I have received so much positive feedback for the book, and it just blown me away. And that goes into my first tip I have, and that is to be confident in whatever it is that you're doing. Like some of the other panelists stated, it doesn't matter what other people are doing. Crushing your fear of flying, crushing your fears, crushing the fear that people won't support you, crushing your fear that you won't sell out, or crushing the fear that people are going to judge you. You have to be confident, or as I like to say, confidence. And confidence is like knowing that God brought you here not to leave you here. He brought you here for a reason. Each of us as individuals have a purpose and have a plan on this earth, and it's just identifying what that is. So be confident in whatever that you're doing, and get great people around you that are going to feed you positivity. The people, sometimes you have to cut people off, whether it be your mother, father, friends that are going to tell you, if you try to feed you negative things, you have to get positive people around you to keep your confidence high. The second one that I had written down here was, and I'm a business coach, so I had these already. This is kind of like an outline of what I use with my clients often, but also have integrity with your business. Don't get into business just for money. Don't let money be the driving force. Don't let money be the passion behind why you're doing business, because you want your customers to keep coming back. You want your clients to keep coming back. You want people to, when they leave from you, to feel great when they leave from you and say, you know what, I'm going to come back and I'm going to spend more money with this individual. So have integrity with your business as well. If you say you're going to do something, do it. You know what I mean? If you can't do it because it's emergency, that's something different. But absolutely sticking to your word, and absolutely doing what you say that you're going to do. Another panelist had mentioned, or maybe a few of you guys, about getting a business coach or a mentor. That's the most important. That's going to save you money in the back end. It's going to stop you from making mistakes that you would make on your own. And this is why you went to school. You go to school because you have a professor, you have people that can teach you. And the same thing is in the entrepreneur world and in the business world. Get somebody around you that knows what you're doing and has done it before you. Also, in regard to a business coach, financial advisor, becoming financial literate, knowing how to manage your money. If you're a poor manager of money, you're not going to go into business and know how to manage money. So absolutely getting a business consultant, getting a financial advisor, getting people around you that know what they're doing to save you some time and some, save you from making L's in the long run, taking an L in the long run. The fourth one that I have is invest in your brand. So this goes back to having a business coach and a business mentor. You have to invest in your brand. You have to take courses. You have to take classes. Even going to college is even investing in your brand. I'm a teen mother, but I did go back to school when I was like 26 or 27 and got my degree in business. And that's what propelled me into business and like kind of using my degree. Because you hear that all the time. People say, oh, if you go to school, people don't do anything with their degree. Well, if you go to school and go for what you want to go in business for, you can absolutely use your degree. And that's what kind of helped me build KZM Enterprise, was going to school and getting that business degree. If school's not for you, or maybe you are in school now and now you deciding to do something different, find the ways that you can invest in your brand. Take courses, webinars. Sometimes some of that stuff is free. I remember one time, Leland brought somebody here, and that she taught me about investing in my brand and like following my passion and stuff like that. And it was a free course. But sometimes you have to take advantage of things that are free as well, that, if you see it, if maybe it might pertain to you, maybe it might not, but maybe there might be some hidden gems within those webinars and courses. So please take advantage of webinars and courses or things to that nature. This is my last one. I'm really, really big on this. I feel like this is the number one reason why I've been successful thus far, and why I'm going to continue to be successful, is that I give back to my community. I give back to my community in all types of ways. Things you're not going to see on social media, things you'll never ever hear me repeat out of my mouth. But I really feel like that's a large component of why I'm successful. And I always tell my business clients as well, find a way to attach a charity or a community initiative to your business, and you'll never ever fail. When you do things from your heart, or you do things to help other people, and you do it when no one's watching, you're going to get blessings that you wouldn't even imagine. I'm very big on spirituality. I'm very big on being humble. I'm very big on allowing things to flow to me. And when I give out and I notice myself giving back and giving and doing things for others, the blessings come back tenfold. And I really feel like that is what's going to carry me in this journey and really, staying successful. So always find a way to attach an initiative to your business, because then another thing for that too is that it does attract people. People are going to want to know, well, what are you doing? Well, what drives your business? Well, what drives this person? Oh, she gives back to the LGBT community, or she volunteers her time at shelters. It makes people really interested in what you're doing, and they're going to always want to support you. So again, that's what I have for today. Thank you, Bryan, for having me on. I hope you all much success, and thank you so much, everybody.
Sister, I thank you. She hit him with the confidence, though. The confidence. I love it. I love it. I love it. Confidence, having integrity within your business, always investing in your brand, and give back. Like, again, the more you give, the more you'll receive. The more you give, the more you'll receive, even in the long run. So Jill, I appreciate that guidance. Make sure you guys follow her too. Again, she has different products. She has a few more things in the work, different ebooks that she's working on, and business consultant. Also be able to purchase her book, especially the ladies, go grab her book. Her book is phenomenal. It's right on Amazon too. Jill, put the title in the chat too again, please. And again, I just thank you for sharing that knowledge and that wisdom there. Keep moving. We're gonna keep it rolling. We had a special top flight guest pop in on us. The reason why I got into business, the reason why my business is able to thrive like at all right now, is because of this man right here named Leland Nelson. He is my business mentor. Everybody talked about having a mentor, having somebody who can help guide your way. And Jill just said that having that mentor and investing in that program will help fast track your own journey, because you can learn from their mistakes, you can learn from their wins, whatever the case may be. And again, I always have a story about everybody on here, because again, it's so personal with this resource of people that I even wanted to bring on and have confidence in to speak to you all. And the story that people do know is that it was the same day I graduated my master's degree. Mr. Nelson had a Build Your Business boot camp. And before the business Build Your Business boot camp started, it was I forgot how many people were allowed to pitch their business. But during the pitch, we had to choose out of a hat which order you will go. So the event was the same day as me getting my master's degree, like graduation, like walking the stage. It was the same exact day. Same time and everything, same time frame. So of course I pulled number one. Like, and it's exactly the same time as graduation and the event. $500 for the winner. And of course I pulled number one. So I don't even tell the other people what this day lands on when we're pulling the numbers out the hats. I'm just like, went to my, after we had our meeting, I'll go to my car and I'm like, man, like, how am I going to do this? So luckily, again, Mr. Nelson's already my mentor. So I shot him a text. Yo, bro, like, I have my graduation this same day. And it was about probably a week or two before. And he's like, well, as long as you're here in time to pitch, you can pitch. So this happens. The day happens, the graduation day, master's degree. I'm walking the stage, phenomenal time, taking the pictures. But during this whole time, I'm thinking and texting. I'm thinking about this event. I'm texting Mr. Nelson the entire time. Like, can't wait for all these people just to go ahead across the stage so they can call my name. I can moonwalk across the stage like I did leaving Susquehanna University. I'm on Michael Jackson, kick joint and moonwalk across the stage, literally. And long story short, we took the pictures, had a great time, and I flew down this highway. I don't know how I even didn't get pulled over. I don't know how I didn't get into a car accident, but I flew this highway from Grace, you'll know where Hershey Park is, to Front Street near the riverfront. And I mean, I am flooring it. And luckily, again, I get there just in time. I'm on my way. I'm texting him the whole time. He's like, B, you got one more person who's about to go up now. You got to get here. So I get there and I'm already on like a phenomenal high right now because I just got my master's degree. So I walk in with my cap and gown still on. I'm like, man, I'm walking in here just like this, cap and gown on. And all the other people who just went were already in the lobby when I walked in. So that was already like a smack in the face. Like, I'm here and I ain't coming to play. So I came on, I told Mr. Nelson I was there. The person just finished up. All the other people who were pitching were in the hallway. They kind of like just saw me and shook their head. Like, oh man, he made it. He came in here like this. He's about to crush it. And my name got called. I walked in there with my head high. I'm talking about, that was probably the most confident day of my life. Like, I'm play basketball and I'm like, people can't tell me nothing about basketball. But in business, that was the most confident day of my life. I walked in there, murdered this pitch, and I ended up winning the first $500 of my business ever. Due to this man's guidance and the structure. And the craziest part about this is that $500, I lost the check. I have the big picture, but I lost the check. Like, I was just so excited that I had put the check in, like, in my closet, in my closet set up, I put it in a certain spot. And for the longest, I couldn't find this check. I'm cleaning out my closet, ended up finding this check. It was about 2.5 years later. I texted Lee like, yeah, man, I never even cashed this check. And who knows what ever happened to the check, but it was the first $500 that was rewarded to the brand. And ever since, man, I call Leland anytime, a day and night, and he's always there for me. Even just like now, he was able to hop on this time. So again, this is like the guru of business in our area. Like, hands down. Like, forget Damon John, forget David, forget anybody else. If you know anybody about business, Leland Nelson is the guy. So again, Lee, I thank you for your time. You can Floor is
Yeah,
yours.
no problem, man. Thank you for, I remember that time. It was a great time, man. But I have my notes written down. Good morning, everyone. Hopefully everyone has one of these right now. So let me see if you have it. Let's do a status check right here. Don't go for it. Yes. 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 Yes.
There
Stay
you go.
you see this ain't faking though. My notes are already in the book. I already got my thing right here. I use this thing every day. So this is a Bryan, stay focused, remain humble, and keep working, right? But I will say that, like I only ask for a pen or a pencil because a short pencil or a short pen beats a long memory. The things you're gonna forget.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a bar for you right there.
Repeat
That's
that
a
one.
bar for you.
Repeat that one.
So if you had a pencil, a short pencil from writing, or when your ink runs out, it's gonna beat a long memory. I'll remember it. We're in a 24-hour news cycle. Stuff goes so fast. You'll ask me, what jobs we did today. I'm like, I really don't know. I didn't write them down. If I don't write those jobs down, write that money down, it can just come and go so fast. So I will say, always keep a pen on you. This is part of my uniform. I took it right on my right-hand side every time. Take my cell phone, my wallet, I gotta have a pen on me. They show the level of sophistication when somebody says, do you need a pen? No, I have my pen. There you go. I have my pen. I'm always ready with my pen. If I don't have my pen on me, I feel like I'm missing a part of my uniform, literally. So I'll just say that real quick. B. May, what you said, your story was you showed up for yourself. And that's what we had to do. We got to show up for ourselves. You got to make the time. It's 24 hours in a day. Sometimes people say, and we've all been there. These entrepreneurs that are on this line with you today, we're all stretched thin. We're trying to mentor 100 people. We're trying to run our own business, take care of family and our other obligations. And then something else comes up. You know what? Do I want to make that? The time you say, should I make that, is when you're going to have your best time networking. You're going to show up somewhere like, that was really cool. I'm glad I came. Because it's all about the people that you meet in the books that you read, right? You heard about Jill's book. I know you know about Bryan Majors' book. A book for me was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill was the book I got when I was 16 years old. Changed my life. My dad didn't give me, a car or $1,000, but that book was worth multi-millions for real for me. So Think and Grow Rich is a great book. The other version is called Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, which is really good by Dr. Dennis Kimbrough. Those are two books that I love. But I will say my first point is show up for yourself. Bryan, he just graduated his master's degree. Let's put it in perspective. He could have went, most of his colleagues, you know what they did? They hugged their parents, shook their siblings' hand or gave them a hug, and they went out to eat. That man was still hungry, if you get that. He was still hungry. I mean, he said he gonna hit the highway. I remember he texted me. I said, yo, if you get here on time, you can still present. So he was still hungry. That should be a high time. I got my master's from Penn State 2-3 years ago. I remember I walked the stage, gave my mom a hug, hey, yeah, we did it. What are we going to eat? I'm hungry. This man hit the highway and the job was not done that day. That's pretty amazing. The story is amazing because in the end, he just unzipped his gown and showed a major prep joint on it was crazy. You had to be there. It was an amazing time, man. But shout out to you for doing that, man. But show up for yourself. Be a lifelong learner. I gave you a couple of books that I'm always on webinars. I'm always on Udemy. I'm on YouTube every night, every evening. I try to make YouTube get one lesson from YouTube per week, if not per day.
What's Udemy?
Udemy is just if say Demi has a PowerPoint or Jill has a PowerPoint she put out, Deanna puts a PowerPoint out, guess what? They can put it up on Udemy and charge $5 for, how to price your business.
Udemy.
I'll put in the chat. Great site. I mean, the courses are like $5 to $10. Great site. So you can find stuff on there. You can find things on YouTube, but you gotta be a lifelong learner. I'm always learning. And that's how you get your competitive advantage. People say, well, how do you know this? I keep on reading everything. And they say that about the high flying, the top level CEOs, they're always reading. They're always reading. They're always taking in more and more information because they just want to be in the know. Because the new currency is early intel. If you have early intel, what's happening in this marketplace, then you can really leverage that for your business and for yourself. So be a lifelong learner. Embrace the journey. I was supposed to be on here at 8:30 this morning. Got a call at 7:45. I'm just getting dressed. I think I'm ahead of schedule. I'm gonna be cool, be there at 8:30, have my coffee, start my Monday off right. And one of my guys called me, man, my gas car is not working. This gas station, the gas, I think they're out of fuel or somebody broke the machines over the weekend. And I don't know how much fuel I have in my dump truck. And I'm not trying to, you can push a car. You can't push a 20, 30,000 pound dump truck. So I can't tow up my car. So I was like, man, just meet me over on the Carlisle Pike. I'll meet you over there. Hey, B, I'm gonna be a little late. I still have dirt on my hands from pumping the gas. So I embraced the journey though. I'm here like, you know what, that was fun. That kicked my money off really cool. These are things you remember as your business grows. As it grows, you'll talk about those fun times in the beginning when you were like, you know what, remember 5 years ago when I had to come over there and pump the gas? Yeah, it's like that sometimes. Never be beyond the business, because it's the business that pays you. So mind the business that pays you. That's what I really try to do. You know, I know this business is a business that's been paying me for 15 years. You know what I mean? So if it calls, I got to kind of put some things to the side, make sure this is taken care of and my employees are taken care of, and then get back to what I do in my day, you know? So I would say embrace the journey. And we talked about, the people that you meet in the books that you read. You know, this group right here, the students in this class, network with each other. You just never know who's on the left or right of you. I always go back to, like, you know, you see these big companies grow. You say, well, how did they meet each other? They met each other in school. You know, they met each other networking, you know, and you just never know what that leads to. You know, a venture may start together, and before you know it grows to, you know, a multi-million-dollar company. You know, you got to really believe in what you're doing, believe in yourself. Someone said this on the call yesterday. I was on a call in New Jersey. It was about 50 people on the call last night, and they said it's passion beyond the paper. See, a lot of people get their degree, their undergrad or a master's or a doctorate degree, and they think, oh, I got my doctor. I'm doctor of such and such. Great. But you got to have passion for what you're doing. You know, my passion for my business is called Dirty Dog. Dirty Dog Hauling is a junk hauling company. My degree is in accounting and finance. My master's in data analytics. But, you know, I like that I could take all those different tools in your tool chest and use them for my business. So, you know, for hauling, waste hauling, everybody has junk, right? And some things that are plaguing some communities as far as illegal dumping and blight. I want to come up with a sustainable solution for what may be happening in different communities. So that's my passion. I want our neighborhoods or highways and byways to look nicer and neater. You know, this is where we live. I believe blight is an indicator of other things that are happening in that community. So if we can keep these neighborhoods clean, then you know, the assessed value goes up, the crime goes down. People want to live in these communities and work, live, and play. It's a good thing. So blight is a huge indicator as to how our community is doing. So that's all I have. Mine is short and easy. You know, I hope you got a few things from me. I don't know if you're taking any questions or how you're flowing, B, but I'm just glad to be. I don't know even what this class is. What is this class, Brian?
So it's called Entrepreneurial Leadership.
Okay.
And the way we approached it, though, was even before the business side of things, it was your mindset. It's definitely about that mindset. So our class was really heavily focused on personal development, character development, and leadership development. And we, of course, sprinkled in, of course, a lot of, you know, some business from information as well. But this last piece right now is still, which is why I wanted to have this, is it's all the mindset. We're still talking about our mindset before we can succeed, before we can evolve, before we can grow, before we can be elevated, all pun intended. And your mindset has to be there. So we really took not just the numbers approach, because numbers, you know, that can get taught easily, but the mindset behind it, which is what we really channel towards this course for.
Yeah, I like that. 'Cause it does come down to mindset. You're gonna have to pivot. Like I had to pivot in this pandemic, so I know a lot of our entrepreneurs on this call. They do the same thing. You heard about, some company you got to go from, you may be going from brick and mortar to online. Same thing happened with us. With our company, went from being in people's houses to telling them to put the stuff on a sidewalk or in their garage, and we would take care of it because this pandemic it's touched all our families or someone close to us. So yeah, mindset, things will come your way. The way you put it on paper and all the assumptions you put on paper for your business plan, they're going to be thrown out the window the week after you print the business plan. So, you got to continue to pivot and go, oh, that didn't work. Business have different tools in your toolbox to try different things. And I heard someone say about failure, do you really fail? Not really if you learn the lesson therein. So it's like, fail fast, iterate, pivot, keep on changing your model until you hit to the point where, oh, this is really working. This is really, really working. But people take one swing at the bat when they hit a home run. It's not like that all the time. So I will say just keep on, pivoting. You got to persevere through this stuff. It's not easy, but if it was easy, every person would be an entrepreneur probably. So you're going to have to, when I say embrace the grind or embrace the early journey, yeah, you're going to sit there sometime and be in your store like no one's coming. But eventually, if you look at Forrest Gump, I love Forrest Gump. I put it on my Facebook page. Every time Forrest Gump comes on, I watch it because he wasn't making anything on that shrimp boat. Even though his boy said you can make popcorn shrimp, lemon shrimp, fried shrimp, whatever. Man, that storm hit, the storm, and your business is gonna hit. And if you survive that storm, here comes this abundance of shrimp. So I love it.
Whoa. Hold on. Survive the storm, then comes an abundance of strength.
Yeah. Yep. And that's what happened with Bubblegum Shrimp, The Ticker on the Side. I love that movie though. It's a lot of lessons that he has in there. So I'll stop talking. I have a 9:45, but I'll stay on for about 10 more minutes because I got to pivot off of here when I need to.
No problem. Can you add your social media to the chat too? Okay. So that if anybody, I know you do have to leave, but we're gonna have D close us out and then Q&A. So if you have to hop off, they might shoot a message, maybe whatever case may be, but at least they'll be able to follow you as well. And to piggyback on that, what he just said about that reading, I was just talking to one of my friends who's heavy into stocks on Saturday night actually, and we were up to about 1 o'clock just talking about Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, all these super big time entrepreneurs. And he was telling me how Warren Buffett reads 8 to 10 hours a day. Like 8 to 10 hours a day. He reads and he invests in stocks. He reads and he invests in stocks. And then he buys businesses and just upsells the businesses that he buys. And that's insight. He was just talking about in regards to just knowledge and foreseeing the future. So again, that reading is so key. We got some smoke about to hit the scene here. We got some heavy smoke. Also, Leland, how long have you been in business, real quick?
This venture was 15 years, but entrepreneurial wise, as far as all ventures, about 22 years.
22. Don is about 2 to 3 years in. Urban Snob is 9 years. Jill, how many are you in? Entrepreneur?
I don't know. I ain't been counting.
I've
been hustling all my life.
Mai, how many years are you in? That's 22, 9.
I have so many different journeys, but I'll just focus on this one. This current one, about 5 years.
I'm gonna give Jill, I'm gonna just say 10 for the round up in 3, because we about to tally up the years of experience that we just shared. But as we go into our last panelist, I mean, another person who is so elevated it don't even make no sense. Like, it's just, we used to have a, again, here's the story immediately. So when she first started her shoe store years ago, 9 years ago, because we came in the game together 9 years ago, I had a photography business, and I still do like little part-time gigs with it now. And Major Prep was still built, so I was building a bunch of just stuff at the same time. And seeing her vision 9 years later elevated to a T. I mean, we used to be just talking about, I was just so amazed that she had her store. Like, 3 people on here have their own current boutiques right now, which is something I like never did. And it was so inspiring to me to see people who actually have stores and boutiques. Like, I never got to that point. But to see this lady's growth that's about to speak, hands down, top notch. She's even to a point now where she's expansion. Her expansion is even into apparel, and I'm talking about, yo, like, I sell a lot of clothes instantly, like, but yo, also hold on, even before I finish with it, but and this is immediately brought me back because I share so many stories with everybody who spoke, but Urban Snob, yo, I call her Pressure. If y'all, like, please follow her, because I call her Pressure now because she's applying so much pressure and she's so far outside of her comfort zone that she's thriving. Like, I'm seeing her thrive hands down because, again, she stepped out of her comfort zone. So she's applying so much pressure. It's like absolutely mind blowing. But as I go into Miss Elevated here, yo, listen, let me tell y'all this. She'll post that she's about to drop something and it's sold out within like 4 minutes. Like, it is sell before, like, it's like, yeah, I'm telling y'all, I sell a lot of stuff instantly, apparel, but how fast as she sells out of her apparel every single drop. When she did it the first time, I'm like, all right, D back. She ain't playing right now. She here. She like letting people know, like, look, I do this. I ain't no rookie. I'm still a vet. And she did a drop. I'm like, yo, hold on. Then she did it again. But then she even adjusted her approach where she's dropping them at certain times, or you got to sign up first to get the early releases, or she's just doing so many different strategic, mind-blowing, like, consumer grabbing, attention grabbing strategies and methodologies that, yo, she's like so winning. Like, she's winning, and I love it. I love it because it's like I've seen her grow and evolve. And I'm telling y'all, like, she dropped stuff, and it's like, man, I probably had a few drops that she drops like this, and it just flies. Had a few of them, so I know the feeling. So I love it. I love every bit about it. And she's just such on the elevated level, and I'm glad she was able to be here and share some of her insight with you all as well. But yeah, that was my 2 stories about D. Like, we started from, and we have pictures from 9 years ago in her store when she first started. Like, I was just so amazed, and still so amazed. And again, I'll text her, yo, D, we can't stop. We 9 years in. And it's just random texts that we'll share or just be a part of. Like, D, what do you think about this? Or how does this look? Yeah, B, go do it. Or it's just anything. But again, it's that resource of people that you have to have. It's the quality over quantity of people who are around you that is so key when you are trying to accomplish something from a small city with big dreams, that's like an urban snob saying, is small city, big dreams. But everybody where you're from won't always understand where you're trying to go. But the people who are close to you, people who are a part of that immediate resource, is so important to tap into, having the right people there, because then they won't let you stop. They won't let you fail. They won't let you, like, fold. You can bend every now and then, but they won't let you completely fold. And when I see everybody on here, it's like, I can't fold, I can't bend. We all have to stay strong. And if there's any time that any of us may see each other not in a elevated aura or energy, like, we all have enough mutual respect to send that message, to tap in a little bit and say, yo, what's up? You all right? Like, you need something, you need to talk. Like, I seen you post this. I seen you post that. That wasn't you. That ain't what the world needs to see from you. And I'm telling you, having that resource of people is so key. So Deanna, thank you again for your time, and let's tap in. Here goes some gas. Let's go.
Thank you for hyping me up. And thank you for having me. I'm gonna keep it real quick because I can talk about this all day. So I just got like a few, and I'm gonna keep it really, really quick. My number one tip that I have is to be in alignment. This is the first things first, because, you know, God put us all here for a specific purpose. The things that you like, the things that you enjoy, the things that excite you, the things that you're passionate about, they're unique. So they are connected to your purpose. So it's not random that you like certain things and somebody doesn't like it. It's not random, you know, the things that you are interested in. So you number one have to be in alignment with what God called you to do, because you will never be as successful as you could be if you're not in alignment. Like, you can look at somebody else and what somebody else is doing and see that they're successful and try to do what they do, but you will never be as successful as you could be if you're trying to do what somebody else is doing, because that's not what God called you to do. So the reason that they're flowing and the reason that they're winning is because they were meant to do that. That's what God called them to do. That's their assignment. So you can never look at somebody else and think, they're doing it, they're successful, I'm going to do it and be as successful as them, because that's their assignment. That's their purpose. That's their passion. So, you know, being in alignment, that's number one. That's why I started my shoe business. As a few other people have said, fashion was always something that I was interested in. So it was natural for me to start the boutique business, but the consulting business came after. Like, I thought it was going to be all about fashion, but then God showed me, you know, that was about something bigger. It was meant for me to help other women. Like, I love seeing people win. I love seeing people succeed. It could be a stranger. I get so hyped seeing people just win and succeed. And I never knew that meant something. Like, it was something deeper, you know, in regards to that. And then God just kept showing me, like, all my old Facebook posts, I was always motivating people, like, follow your dreams and do this and do that. And then I'm like, wow, like, he just put it together for me to end up, you know, doing the consulting, because whenever it's bigger than you, like, that's how you know, like, it's God given. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just about me running a boutique now, but it's about me helping other people follow their dreams. You know what I'm saying? So that is all in alignment with what God gave me. You know what I'm saying? So number one, just be in alignment with, you know, your purpose and what God put you here to do. And so just always just be tuned into what, like, keeps drawing you back. Cause I tried to, like, do, like, I'm gonna just quit when it gets hard, because it's like, it's hard, but it's like, what else am I gonna do? Like, there's nothing else I want to do. So if I'm gonna do anything and fight for anything, like, let me fight for my dreams. Let me fight for what I'm passionate about. Like, I'm not gonna spend the rest of my life, like, doing something that I hate. I'd rather just fight it out and do what I love to do. So being in alignment, it, like, helps you to fight through those hard times. My second one I would say is consistency, because people buy from people who they know, like, and trust. So when you're showing up every day, you're positioning yourself, you know, as an expert. You're building that trust, and you're giving yourself time to course correct. Like Mai said, you know what I'm saying? You're figuring out what works, what doesn't work, what your audience likes, what they don't like. And there were so many times I was just going through, like, my old years of just for tax reasons. And it was times when I made no money, like, for months, like, no money. Because you get discouraged and you take breaks and you got to refocus. But I'm just now being 9 years in at a place where I can see consistent 5 figures a month. if I would have quit when I wasn't making any money, I wouldn't be at a place where I can make 5 figures a month. You know what I'm saying? So me staying consistent and not giving up and showing up, like even when it gets hard, like, okay, I got to come back. I got to do it different. I got to pivot. Like if you give up too soon, like if you fail, that means you quit. You quit too soon because you don't fail until you quit. So you have to stay consistent. You have to show up like day after day, week after week, year after year, because so many people come into this, they're not here. They're here today, going tomorrow. And that's just because, you know, they got discouraged. The only way you can fail is if you quit, period. So you got to stay consistent. And then my third one is faith. A faith is a confidence, like a knowing that it's going to work. You know, I not only have faith in myself, but I have faith in God. Like if he told me something, I'm going to believe it. I'm going to stand on it, because that confidence is going to allow you to just move different, just take certain actions, just take certain risks. It allows you to just show up different. So you have to know, like, even when things don't look like they're working out, everything is working together for your good. Like you have to have that faith. You have to have that confidence, because as soon as you start dwelling on the doubt and what if it don't work, and you're planting seeds and you're sowing seeds of doubt, it's not going to work. So instead of dwelling on the fear and the negativity and what if it don't work, dwell on what you want it to be. Dwell on how successful it could be. Dwell on what does it look like for this to work. You know what I mean? What is the best life you can live? And then just have faith that God wants you to live your best life. He, you know, no good thing will he withhold from them that love him. So it's like, you have to know, like he's on your team. You know what I'm saying? So if you're doing your part, he's going to do his part over here. So you just have to know, like, even when it looks like it's not working, it's working. You know what I'm saying? So, and then just another one I'll throw in is just mindset. Thoughts become things. Thoughts become things. Like if you take nothing else away, like thoughts become things. So whatever you think about and whatever you dwell on, that's what's going to happen. If you think you're going to be successful, you're going to be successful. If you think you're not going to be successful, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So thoughts become things. So those are mine. I just wanted to make it pretty brief because I know we've just been all talking, running our mouths, but thank you so much for just having me on here. But everything everybody said, it was like, yes, like everything, like all of those things, like all of those things.
I love it. I love it. Like I'm so overwhelmed. I love it. Yeah, G. Yeah. Like this was phenomenal, y'all. And I hope you all have like your notes written down, because these are the things that's going to help you continue to soar through your journey right now.
B, let me say one more thing real quick. Can you hear me?
Yep, you good. Yep.
I just wanted to say one more thing about the faith and the knowing. I know we got to go. I'm just going to make it super, super quick. But when I started my store, I used up literally like all the money that I had to start the store. I had the flyers out. I had, you know, nobody really knows this, but I had like the party, like everything set up. I had, you know, everything ready, but I didn't even have shoes. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even have money for shoes. Like I spent all my money. But at the last minute, I just believed. I just knew that God saw me working. I knew that he was going to honor my faith. And he was going to honor that I trusted him. And I knew he was going to put it together for me. And in the last final hour, like I got the money for the shoes. So that's just how strong faith is. So
Wow.
I just had to.
I didn't even know that part though. So
yeah, I had to emphasize that because that was big. Like I had it, like I had people coming. I had the flyers out. Like I had the store. I had the space. I had no shoes. But I just knew. I was like, God's going to make a way. I saw no after no after no after no. At the last minute, that money came through. And I'm like, I knew it. That's the power of knowing. That's the power of knowing. You know what I mean? Like.
Wow. I never even knew that part. I never knew that. So again, which this is so key of is, we talked about the very first class was, this is going to be so unique because we all see that we're all going through some. Our common denominator is we're all been through something, going through something, and growing through something. All of us on this call, which is phenomenal. Like that's the common denominator, and I love it. So again, I thank everybody who's able to be on a panel for your time this morning. I'm gonna open up for a few minutes for, let's just say, just a few questions. If you have any, and I don't want to take too much more of our panel time, we'll stay on a little bit longer for the class. But if anybody has any questions for anybody who spoke today, or any comments, the floor is open real quick as well too. Riley and Hezzy, y'all should have a question. Y'all have House of Hawks tonight.
I thought it was really interesting, some of the stuff you guys are sharing. My questions are kind of detailed. I don't know if like you could.
All right, we'll tap in there. Well,
yeah, because like I really liked how you were talking about like her drops and stuff, how she was releasing things and it'd sell out before it's even out. Because what I'm presenting is an apparel brand tonight, so I definitely do have some questions that could be answered.
Cool. We'll definitely talk about that too. Even when we'll talk about like it's just time. But again, it's the time that she put in to learn what her customers want. It's the time that, again, she said she never quit or she wouldn't be able to be in the position that she's in. That time and like the giving of the product and testing and trying and figuring it out, that all comes with learning how to, 9 years in, I'm gonna drop this and it's gonna sell out instantly. And like, I just like watching how fast it sells out. Like, I like that at this point, you know what I mean? So but it comes with time though. It comes with time to learn your demographic, your niche, your market, the price points. It comes with time for sure. But we'll tap in a little more of that. Riley, you got House of Hawks tonight.
I don't know if I have any questions right now, but I'm just like really soaking in what everyone had to say. It was definitely a good thing. I'm sure Hez can relate. Good thing to hear on the day of House of Hawks before we're presenting our ideas tonight. But as it soaks in, I'm sure I'll have questions, and I followed everybody on Instagram, so I might be reaching out with looking for some insight maybe for things as my business grows and what have you. So thank you everyone that shared everything. It was definitely very insightful and inspiring and very encouraging.
Thanks. All right. Make sure you guys are following everybody. Man, I appreciate y'all. These is my girls, y'all. Like, this is some real close people who, like, again, I speak to on an often basis because we all just know what we're going through. And ladies who are left, I appreciate all of y'all. I'll be texting y'all here in a little bit, but I thank you for your time this morning and sharing with us and helping pour into our class.
You're welcome.
All right, y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.